Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Can we get serious now?
One thing that did happen during the 60s was some music of an unusual or experimental nature did get recorded and did get released. Now look at who the executives were in those companies at those times. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product that came and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out. If it sells, all right. We were better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives who are making the decisions of what people should see and hear in the marketplace.
Success in the music business begins with a dream, a vision. This podcast will give you, the listener, the insight and tools to turn that vision into a reality. Meet the industry professionals who work day by day behind the scenes, helping to make those dreams come true. Welcome to the business side of music.
We have in the studio today, we're here in Hendersonville, Tennessee. In which studio?
Clubhouse Recording.
Clubhouse Recording Studio here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, my old stomping grounds. Good buddy of mine I've known for several years. We met many, many moons ago, and his wife, Jamie, Paul Martin, and they have a band of all things, which we're going to get into here in a little bit, was called the Martin Family Circus, and they've got a new name. We're going to talk about that. But let's run down the members that are of the entourage that are sitting here at the table.
There will be a test at the end of this.
There will. So all listeners, write this down, because I had to. So we got Paul sitting next to me, plays bass, guitar, and keyboards, and of course sings. Let's not forget that. And his beautiful bride, Jamie, vocals, keys, and percussion. And then next in the pecking order from age is March, vocals, guitars, bass, and drums. Welcome, March.
Thank you.
Kell, who plays keys and also sings.
That is correct.
And Texas. I love the name Texas. I think that's very cool.
Our grandmother's name.
Oh, there you go. Vocals and drums, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
And then talent, which means you obviously have the most talent of the whole bunch,
That's
right?
what all my friends say.
Yeah. Who also sings guitars and keys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're glad to be here.
So we're going to start with Paul. I met you and your wife years ago when we attended the same church here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and then found out that you performed with Marty Stewart. And
That's right.
So we did a couple Marty Stewart shows together, got to know you even better and get to meet this family. But you go back musically long before that, right?
Yeah, I mean, go back 30 years this year, and I joined the group Exile and was the lead singer, lead guitar player from 88 to 94, 95, right in there. And then from that period, I tried to be a solo artist. That's when Jamie and I met and got married. When that didn't really work out, I ended up playing for
the marriage worked.
The marriage worked great, but the solo career. But it was funny because when I always remember telling Jamie when I going in the studio the first time to cut my solo stuff, I went in with a great songwriter friend of mine, Kent Blasey, and Kent wrote all these Garth Brooks hits. And he really believed in me. It was such a neat thing, but I always told Jamie the day I recorded the first project I saw my name being written on the tape box because we were recording tape in the 90s still. I said, that didn't look right, and I never could figure it out till many years later. Now I know why, but in the meantime, I ended up playing steel guitar for Kathy Mattea, then went back and played keys for Kathy, then I went and played bass for the Oak Ridge Boys for a while, got off the road, kind of ran my studio, helped raise the family, and I worked with people like Steve Warner, or I was the guy that would go out on the road with other artists when they needed a fill-in band member. There was a guy in one of the Lori Morgan's band, and apparently he couldn't go across the border in Canada, and when she played Canada, I always got the call to go fill in because I had a clean record, I guess.
Yeah, we need someone that can get an actual green card to go across the line.
And then I joined Marty in 2008. And I've known Marty for since the Exile days. And one day I get a call on a Monday morning. He says, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "I don't know. What are you doing?" He said, "Well, come out and play some bass with us." And that's how I started playing with him. And then we did 6 seasons of a TV show. And then, and that's, then we fast forward to during that period of time, I watched my kids start blowing up, playing music and singing. And about 4 years ago, we just thought, man, this is an opportunity we're going to pass up here if we don't jump on this. And I said, Marty, I'm not mad. I just got to go be with my family and try to make this go.
Absolutely.
And he goes, man, I hate to see you leave, but I understand.
And you only get one shot at that,
Right. And we had lunch with our pastor at First Baptist, and Jamie and I told him what we were thinking. He said, well, the way I see it, your window's closing pretty quick here. And,
wow.
And I said, that's exactly how we saw it. We didn't want to look back in 10 years and go, why didn't we do that? Well, we had the chance.
Yeah.
So.
And Jamie, you come from a musical background and history. I mean,
yes.
Your dad
Yep, my dad is Dwayne Allen. He's the lead singer of the Oak Ridge Boys, and he's been there 52 years. That is just an eternity. If you sit and think about how
and
long.
he doesn't look it.
No, he's 75. He'd be proud to tell you, and still doing what he loves to do every day. You know, so he's been on the road all my life with the Oak Ridge Boys. My mother sings at the Grand Ole Opry as a staff backup singer, and her name is Nora Lee Allen. She's been there for ages. You know, so it's just kind of always been our way of life. You know, that's what my parents did. It was very natural. Then when Paul and I got together, that he was on the road playing music as well. We had a studio just like my parents had done, and it just felt like that felt normal to us.
So these 4 kids, I had to look around the table and count.
That's exactly what I do every time.
These 4 kids, I mean, it's just bred into them, the music talent. You know, I mean, some people have to acquire it. I was listening to a podcast a while back. One of the guitarists in Metallica didn't even start playing till he was like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
You know, and got where he was. And couldn't even afford a guitar, you know, back in those days.
Borrowed one or something.
Yeah. But your kids, I mean, they're just born to this. Did it come natural for all of them?
It did, because we have always had keyboards and drums and guitars just sitting in every corner of our house. They're just, you know, open access. Anybody wants to pick up a tambourine or a drum or anything and play it, they've always had the access. Paul always would play. And, you know, they would just watch him playing, and it's kind of like he might march one chord on a guitar. Here, can you put your fingers here? Next thing you know, March would take that and kind of run with it, and, well, I wonder if I can play this chord. And they really have all done that and kind of taught themselves how to play just by watching, maybe learning, picking up little tricks, you know, from people that they watch play. So.
Okay, so show of hands, how many had actual professional music lessons?
We it all in some
Really?
In time after they
You know what I learned, Bob, is that showing the kids stuff, I could show them things and they would grasp it. But what I noticed was when I took them, several the music teachers that they go to are all friends of mine who have played professionally that have a music degree or something, and they seem to show them stuff, and it's funny because if I show them something now, it's like they grasp it immediately, and I think they have a different kind of patience, and the kid listens to the teacher a little different than they would to me. So
what I was saying about Kell is that he started playing piano when he was very tiny. You know, he would pick out little melodies on his own just by ear. But by the time he was about 6 or 7, you know, he was really starting to play well. And Paul said, I would love for you to get that, you know, kind of the theory and all that too. So he put him in lessons, and now he's 17.
Still going.
He still goes. It's 10 years later, and he's learned all kinds of just fun things to broaden, you know, his interest into a lot of different styles of music now. So it's been great.
And I think what's cool going through the list is just the different instruments that you play. You know, Texas on drums, but you sing.
Yes.
Which is so important. And then Tallant, you know, you play guitar and keys, and of course you sing. Do you guys switch around a lot on stage? Instrumentally?
Yeah.
March and Daddy especially.
Yeah.
Paul and March both play acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, and drums and keys. They both play pretty much all the instruments we would use on stage, so they kind of switch back and forth interchangeably the whole show. But some of the others stay stationary. Kell stays on piano the whole show. She stays on drums usually the whole show.
It's kind of like, well, Mom and Dad really want me to, like, learn guitar, which I actually have now, but, like, they really wanted me to because March and Dad can't just play all the guitars, because they got to have somebody doing it in, like, one instrument instead of switching around. It gets too confusing.
And how old are you?
11.
Jeez. Wisdom.
Yes. She's the glue.
Yeah.
She's coming in and holding us together.
She needs to rub off on quite a few of us here.
Yes, sir.
How long as the Martin Family Circus now?
probably 8 years now.
8 years together as Martin Family Circus. Yeah, it's been a while. It doesn't seem like it's
Seriously,
been
for
that
probably
long.
3 though. 3 years
we
full time.
started when I was with Marty. Like I said, I think everybody but Tallant was on Marty's TV show. At one point, the other Texas made an appearance. The boys made several. They just really seemed to love music. And about 8 years ago, we were just doing it for fun. And then I was still playing with Marty. Well, about 4 years ago, watching all the kids they were starting to play like really good. And you're going, wow. And so when I left Marty in 2015, it was like really 3 years ago, we started working real steady. You know, we're playing fairs and festivals. We got to play the White House, the Library of Congress, some really cool gigs in the last couple, 3 years. And that's kind of, I guess we've been together 8 years, but really seriously for 3 years,
And you've played the Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah,
Yes.
did the Grand Ole Opry last time? Yeah, 3 times last year. So
yeah, which my wife and I will, especially in California, and we would tune it in, WSM online.
Sure.
And Friday nights, Saturday nights, we'd sit outside and we'd have our adult beverages, and we'd listen to the Grand Ole Opry.
Gotta keep it PG.
You'll find out about
what
that
is
in a few years.
For
They
now, it's
say
apple juice.
there's a
March,
tear in
don't
my
start
beer.
with me, young man.
Hey, one more year, I'm 20. So
Yeah, there you go. We're going to take a little bit of break and get a word in for our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk with Paul Martin, Jamie, March, Kell, Texas Tallant.
This is Katie Long, owner of DIY Music PR, and you are listening to the Business Side of Music podcast.
You're listening to the business side of music.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Butler, and I want to send you a free digital copy of my new book, The Singer-Songwriter Rulebook, 101 Ways to Help You Improve Your Chances of Success. That's right, everything you need to know to launch your career as a singer-songwriter, all based on my 40 years in the live performance arena, and believe me, I've seen it all. In my book, you'll find the 10 things you have to deal with before even thinking about becoming a singer-songwriter performer. You'll also learn about the 5 things every singer-songwriter can do this weekend to make their live show better. 5 things I can guarantee that you are not doing already. Plus, there's tips on songwriting and staging, photo and video shoots, publishing, merch, dozens of other topics. All written for people who don't particularly like to read. And again, it's free. Just go to the Business Side of Music website homepage and look for my book cover. Click on it, and a free digital copy of my book will be yours. I'm Larry Butler, and I approve of this message.
Hey, it's Chris SD from Sync Songwriter. Imagine what it would be like getting your music into the latest TV shows, movies, or ads. Your songs would not only get exposure in front of millions of viewers, you'd get paid to do it and gain a reputation as the songwriter that you are. I've been showing songwriters, composers, and artists how to get their music into TV and film for over 15 years. Collectively, they have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars from licensing their music. Their music has been on networks such as HBO, Bravo, ABC, NBC, Netflix, and more. In films or trailers such as Predator, Annihilation, Christmas Chronicles, Professor Mac, and many others. So many songwriters upload their music to websites hoping to get discovered. Unfortunately, this almost never happens with the millions of songs out there competing for attention. I show you how to get your music heard by the people who can actually make it happen for you. When you start getting your music licensed, you automatically develop a reputation in the industry. This lets you get syncs over and over again. If you'd like to discover how to connect with the right people in music licensing, just click the Sync Songwriter logo on the Business Side of Music webpage, and I'll see you there.
You're listening to the business side of music.
This is Bob Ender. We're back. You're listening to this edition of the Business Side of Music. We're in the studio with what we have been calling Martin Family Circus, but there's a name change. You and I were talking, Paul, we were talking on the phone a few weeks back, but we'll let Jamie explain this. But you said that from the fairs and the festivals, you guys were being confused as an animal act? Is that what it was?
It's hilarious. I mean, if I had $1 for every time, you call ahead before you go play somewhere, the sound company and tell them your tech needs, and they'll go, we bring this, we bring our own, in-ears and all this stuff, and we'll just need to give you left, right, and sub, and go into your front of house rig, and they'll go, great. Now, will you need a place up front, probably in front of the stage, big enough to put for the animals and stuff? I said, well, no, it's not that kind of circus.
Our animals.
But they really, genuinely think we're a real circus, and this all started as a joke. What was in 2007? Vince Gill gave us that name as a joke. Jamie worked for the management company for him. And I've known Vince since the early, when he started having his country hits. I was with Exile, and we all became friends. And Jamie had just had Tallant, and we were at the Opry one night, and he was there, and he came up and grabbed Tallant. He said, "What are you up to, Jamie?" He goes, "This is baby number 4, Vince." And he just said, "Well, you guys are just a regular Martin Family Circus."
Wow.
And it just stuck. Everybody started calling us that. So we thought when we started doing the band,
We just kind of called it that.
Yeah, because it really much described life. It was crazy with 4 kids and running all kinds of directions.
They were so little. The girls were 3 and 4 years old. And so, it stuck, and that's what we went by for many years now. And the thing is, we thought on a couple occasions we should probably change this name, but we'd ask, and some couple of good music business advisors we have, and they're like, well, you've already gotten to do some great things under that name. What the heck? Just go with it, And so we did. But as now, as the kids have grown and they're writing music and they're all real serious about playing, and we just felt like we've got a brand new project getting ready to come out that we are so proud of. Some great new songs. And we felt like, what, it's time to choose a name that kind of reflects where we are now and something that is very meaningful to us.
And so you actually picked a name that reflects Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So should I tell you what our new name is?
Let's drum roll, please.
Good thing we have a table.
It is Rockland Road. We are going to be known now as Rockland Road, and I'll tell you where that comes from. But as you know, here in Hendersonville, that's a street that we've all driven down many times. But where that becomes special for us is that before I was born, my parents had the house where we lived. They opened a studio in our basement. When it got pretty busy, once I was born and my brother was born, they ended up buying some property out off of a street called Rockland Road, and there was an old tile factory that they turned into a studio and a publishing company, and they ran it for a few years, and it helped support us. The Oak Ridge Boys were going from gospel into country music, and so that was a great side business for my parents. And eventually the Oak Ridge Boys bought into that studio and transferred and brought all their offices there. It was their hub where they parked their buses and had their merch store, and they recorded their records. And in the meantime, that's where we started learning to record too. It just kind of became a real important part in our lives. And so eventually then Ricky Skaggs bought the studio from the Oaks. So he still runs it today. It's still there and operating. And we just, when we drive past it, it's just like a really special place for us. It's kind of where the love of music began.
Kind of give a shout out as you drive by.
Kind of where the journey began for our family,
And it's also kind of funny because when Vince Gill gave us the Martin Family Circus name, now, like, every time we go to, like, the Opry or, like, somewhere where, like, we know the people, they're always like, hey, the circus is in town. And, like, now that we're going to be Rockland Road, we're still going to be the Martin Family Circus. Yes. It's just a band change, not family.
Yes, same family, new name.
Yeah. So, musically, you write your own songs?
Yes.
Trying to work up to that.
Yeah, no, we do write a lot of our own material. Me and my brother have been writing a whole lot lately. And in fact, actually next week, as of this podcast's taping, I will be downtown writing some more.
Yeah.
But are you writing with anyone in particular along with your brother? Or?
Yeah. We going down on Music Row and stuff, just writing with the publishing companies and whatnot. And on this new project that we're putting out, as of right now, we have not written any of the songs on it, but that's not to say that...
Can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was funny because the moment we decided name change, then we thought it's time for new music. We reached out to all of our friends in publishing that we've known for years and told them what we were doing, and they called some publishing meetings. We went down to like BMI and CSAC and places like that for listening meetings. The minute we got down there, they've been calling us, setting meetings with their writers to write with the boys and myself. And our attitude is, if we write something that's great, we'll put it on there. But we understand one of the things about Jamie's dad is the Oak Ridge Boys have built their career on great songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's better. Willie Nelson's my hero because Willie wrote some of the most important country songs. I mean, Crazy, all those songs that he wrote, that in his career. But his career as an artist, he didn't write everything.
Yeah.
I mean, most of his hits he didn't write. So he understands a great song. And that's my attitude. If we write a song that beats something somebody else wrote, we'll cut it. But
yeah, you talk about Willie, and it was some of his greatest albums were his covers where he did the standards.
Sure.
you
just play that and wear it out.
He didn't write Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. He didn't write that song, but that song is what basically put him on the map. And then You Were Always on My Mind. Wayne Carson, those guys wrote. He just knew a great song, and that's
and could play it well. Perform
and
it well.
He interpreted it in a way that it was his way. And that's what we're trying to do. It's been funny because the last 7 or 8 years, the family has been developing and learning how to play and sing, how to perform, and now we're at the point where. Now it's trying to, I think we have a sound we make. We make our own noise, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, right. So, right. Where are you guys going next? I mean, before this is all over, we're going to listen to some music today.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But, so you're playing fairs and festivals. You played the White House. Come on. I mean, you can't do much better than that. And the Opry, the
Yes,
Mother
sir.
Church. So
we played the Library of Congress, and we did the Country Music Cruise last year. We've
Country
done
Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Country Music Hall of Fame. That was another one. We got to do some really fun, special moments.
And musically
Fair.
speaking, Bob, you know, what we've done as a family when we perform, you know, like we really are flying under the country. That's kind of what we're probably going to be classified as for sure. But we just love great songs and great music. So a lot of times when we do a show, because we don't have songs, we've really spread, you know, we run the gamut as far as styles of music. We do everything from, you know, pop, country, rock, R&B, gospel, everything.
Are you doing any Exile songs?
We do. We do. You know, we do Keep It in the Middle Road. That's one of my hits.
Doing any Oaks?
We do Oaks as well.
We actually got, we know when the Oak Ridge Boys went in the Country Music Hall of Fame 3 years ago, we got the call from the Hall of Fame. We sang Elvira for them and surprised them.
Yeah, we had to keep it a secret for 6 months.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
But we did. These
Especially
kids-
from your dad,
Hey,
you know.
right. We
hey,
couldn't-
Dad, I love you. I got to tell you something, but I
We
can't.
were dying. We
It
were
was so sad because we couldn't tell.
afraid.
We were so excited, and we were about to pop. And every time we played somewhere, we couldn't tell anybody because we thought it'll get back. You know.
And something that was kind of hard, like we constantly go to Grandmom and Granddad's house. Grandmom knew about it because she had to help us with outfits and stuff. But Granddad, like every day, we'd see him and be like, and like come up and hug him. But then we couldn't be like, hey, by the way, we're singing Elvira for you. So
had
we
to
were
keep it
kinda
a
like,
secret.
Yeah.
And then Bob, funny enough, we get 6 months down the road, and it's like a week before the show, and we said, okay, we need to start kind of working on, you know, a cool arrangement of Elvira because we've got 6 voices. We didn't want to do it exactly like they do it. We wanted to kind of have our own
None of us have a voice for that,
interpretation.
I was going to say, who's going to sing Richard's
Right.
part? Who's going to sing that bass?
That's exactly. So we, about a week out, we woke up, and this is going to be the day we're going to have practice, you know. And wouldn't you know it, Texas woke up that morning, our daughter, and had total laryngitis. For some reason, she had not been sick. She just woke up with no voice.
And had to write on a tablet.
And yeah, we had to give her a notepad to write on all week so she wouldn't talk. We're like, don't say anything, you know, just save your voice. So we had to sing a part to her all week long and hope she could just kind of remember it. And then the day of the show came, and we get up. Paul and the boys go on down there to kind of get our equipment set up because we were going to get a real quick, you know, rehearsal with the band. We're late, me and the girls getting there because the Titans were playing football that day, and we got caught in traffic, of course. Yeah. But we got there. We got to run it one time with the band, and she squeaked through it. She had a real squeaky voice, but it was okay. We made it. So we go, grab lunch, get to the hotel, and we're like, okay, whew, we can breathe easy. And all of a sudden, Kell was like, uh-oh. And he ran to the bathroom and all of a sudden had the worst case of food poisoning that you could
Just
ever
to add to
imagine.
the list.
At the most horrendous time.
So the 6-part harmony was slowly whittling down.
We were like, can we do this? And we were at the hotel a couple hours and finally, you know, got ourselves together, got over to the show, and had to sit through the entire show. It was 2 hours long.
And I remember something really fast. I remember that when we got there, and it was like was it 3 hours or was it 2 hours? Okay, so we were sitting through the show, and when we had first gotten there trying to find our seats, these, like, I think like this woman, like a few people came up to us, was like, we're so excited to see you perform, and we were like,
how do you know?
Yeah,
It's a
how do you
secret.
know? We didn't tell anyone. And she's like, oh, it's on the papers. And there was
in the program.
The program. And there was a program on every single seat, including Granddad's seat. And Grandmom had to snatch the program out of his seat.
Jamie texted her mom, said, Mama, quick, grab up the program so you can fit the
But we got there, so it was our turn. It was the end of the award ceremony, and they came to get us. And we had managed to avoid my dad the whole time, so he wouldn't
didn't
ask
even know you
questions.
guys were there.
He knew he knew we were
be there.
coming,
Oh, okay.
but we never saw him. We
sat in the
didn't.
back.
We didn't want him to ask any questions, so we kind of avoided him and sat in the back. So they came to get us and take us backstage. We're back there, and the girl's hair is a mess by now. We look, you know, we're like, can we do this? And you know who?
And Kell's recovering from food poisoning.
Yes,
still
and she'd eaten 1,200 cough drops. You know,
they were the berry flavor, she said.
Yes. So we're sitting there, we're like, we can do this, we can do this. Then we looked and saw who we had to follow, walking off stage, who had just sung.
Who's that?
Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. And we had to follow them. We're like, oh man, the
Piece
entertainer
of
of the
cake
year.
for you guys.
So yeah, it was one of those things though. I finally just looked at the kids. I said, okay, forget all that. You know, we just have to have the faith of a mustard seed, right? That's a tiny little bit of faith. We've got that. We can do this. I said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk out there like there's no problems. Texas, you're going to open your mouth and sing, and your voice is going to be there, and it's going to be strong. Don't even worry about it. You know how to sing. You just go out there and do what you do. And then I looked at Kell and I said, son, you can hold anything in for 3 minutes. And so we walked out, and, you can't see what we're doing right now, but my dad and all the Oaks are sitting on the front row, and his hands went like this.
His hands went on his face.
To his cheeks, and his mouth was like, and his mouth just was wide open.
If you come to our shows, you can see what he was doing, because we always do it.
You can't transmit that over sound.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Aww.
There's a picture that somebody took behind Dwayne right after we were done, and he was looking at Jamie, and he made he was doing something. That he caught her eye or something. It was I think John Muir took it, but it was like a great moment. It's grabbing that moment where it's like
picture,
just a great father and daughter moment.
Well, it's such a crazy it was such a crazy moment because Kell, the whole time we were in the crowd, Kell, every time we would stand up, he'd be like, oh my gosh, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom really bad. And so he'd come back and they'd be like, he'd sit down and be like, and then be like, all right, now here comes the next award, and you gotta stand up and cheer.
I could not stand up. I just had to stay in the same position.
And he was just hiding in the chair with his legs crossed, oh.
And Mama had to find this is the last bad thing about the story, but Mama was, when we were walking on stage, the plan was to walk on stage, Daddy would strum the guitar, and we would just start singing, no talking. Yeah, and then they would just start playing. And that didn't happen because we walked on the stage. Dad went to go strum his guitar, and it wasn't on. Yeah, it wasn't on.
Somebody had turned it.
And it had to warm up.
Yeah, and it had to warm up. So while we're ready to sing, and then it's not playing. Nobody's playing. So Mama has to think of something to say. She's like, I don't remember what you said, but yeah, we're excited.
She just started a chant.
Well, this is great moments for teaching for the kids, because I've always told them, if you're going on stage night after night expecting the perfect performance to happen, you're going to be mighty disappointed. Yeah. And I said, what makes a great entertainer is how do we deal with adversity?
And you had a lot of adversity that day, it sounds like.
Yes, we did. But it was still one of the greatest memories that we'll all remember.
Yes.
What a night. It was incredible that we even got to be there and be part of it. So
when we come back, let's hear a song.
Sure.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Hey, this is Steve Jones, co-founder of Beat Chain, and you're listening to The Business Side of Music.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
Wow, I just joined the Music Starts Here community. This is a truly hidden gem for anyone in the music business. Whether you live in Nashville or anywhere else in the world, Music Starts Here is like a GPS for your music career. This is the place to be if you want to get advice and direction from some seriously talented musical people who have been where you want to go. Music news, events, and a great big community with resources for artists, songwriters, musicians, studio and tech, along with music business advice from pros in the industry, all on one site. Make sure you get your free profile now. Go to www.musicstartshere.org. That's musicstartshere.org.
Hi, this is Vinny Rebus, the founder of Indie Connect. Our goal is to ensure that you have the knowledge, the tools, skills, resources, and connections that you need to develop a profitable and long-lasting career in music. One way we do this is through these Business Side of Music podcasts. I'd also like to invite you to check out Indie Connect magazine, our free multimedia online publication packed with practical interviews and advice from music industry experts. Go to www.indieconnectmag, that's www.indieconnectmag.com. Let us walk with you and guide you every step of your musical journey.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
This is Bob Bender. We're back in the studio here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, with what was previously the Martin Family Circus, or in some cases, as far as Vince Gill is concerned, still is, but is now Rockland Road. Guys, welcome back, and girls, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You guys performed on Mike Huckabee.
Yes.
Yeah. And from what I understand, this was something that Mike wanted personally.
Yeah. We did an event about 2 months ago here in town where he was the keynote speaker. And when he started doing his TV show, he taped it right here in Hendersonville at what used to be Twitty City, which is now Trinity Broadcasting. And they refurbished that theater up there, and it's beautiful.
Oh, amazing.
And he started the show, I think, in October, and we thought, boy, wouldn't it be great if we get on Mike Huckabee Show? Because, it'd be a great, because we're family and all that. So we really didn't know. Now, Jamie's dad is good friends with Mike, but we certainly never want to use that kind of approach, like have Dwayne go, my grandkids are really good, Mike, and even though Dwayne probably would have done that for us, and it just happened that I think God appointed it that we should play this thing with Mike in April, and we played our show and we started playing, and while we were sitting there playing, he was in front of us with his iPhone recording everything we were doing.
Wow.
And by the time we got home that night, Jamie's dad sent us an email that Mike sent him and said he was just blown away and said, I've already notified all my staff. We got to have them on our show as soon as we can.
Oh, it was really, really a thrill. It's a beautiful set, great people.
You have a song on the new project that's coming out. Do you have a date on the new project yet, or
no? We have. It's funny because when we decided to change our name, we began looking for songs and writing songs. And the fellow that's helping us produce is a man named Greg Beek. And ironically, Greg's wife, Elisa, I played on her project, and I've worked on it for the last 3 or 4 years. And I met Greg through her. When we did our last project, we cut a song that Greg wrote called Roller Coaster. Loved the song. And
not the one from Ohio Players.
Not the no. And, no, that's the one I think of too. Believe me, but we did the song, and when we got ready to change our name, I texted Greg and I said, Greg, help. Would you send us some more songs that like Roller Coaster because we're changing our name and stuff? Well, he sent us about 10 songs, Jamie, and in the email he made some comment that. He would love to work with us if we needed help. And I looked at Jamie, I said, I'm wearing so many hats, and Greg just mixed the current Hall & Oates Train project, which is now, I think it's like in the top 10 in the AAC charts right now. He's worked with Hall & Oates for years. He's been involved with pop music, and he's had Little Big Town #1s and things like that. And we said, absolutely, Greg. So he started working with us, and this is one of the songs he pitched us right off, immediately. And we all went, yeah, this is a great song. We loved it when we heard it.
Greg co-wrote it with Reed Waddle and Ronell Coburn, and just a really fun song. Just a great writers, positive message. We love it.
And so the name of the song is?
Shadow in the Sun.
Well, let's hear it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Take the empty from my arms, lift the shadows from my eyes. When it's dark, it's only daylight in disguise. Take me down from the mountains when storm winds collide. Answer questions that I keep deep inside. And I will hold you, and you will hold me from now till our days are done. You and I, we will be as one. I will take you with me when I'm gone, and we're like my shadow in the sun. I only say this to share all thoughts left unsaid. Well, I will carry you where angels fear to tread, and then you'll find me, and you surround me from now till our days are done. You and I, we will be as one. I will take you with me when I'm gone, and we're like my shadow in the sun. Oh. Take you with me when I'm gone. shadow in the sun. Oh, like my shadow
in the sun.
Oh, like my shadow
In the sun.
Oh, like my shadow
In the sun.
I will take you with me when I'm gone, and wear you like my shadow in the sun.
Wow.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was, man, that's amazing.
Thank you. I love that song. We love the songs with great messages, and we feel like the world's kind of a dark place. It's always been dark, I guess, but it seems sometimes it gets darker and darker by the day, and we feel like if we can do songs that bring joy and peace and love and
amen,
light,
That's what
why
we
not?
look for when we go down to listen to songs at publishers' meetings or for writing songs. It's like, when we listen to songs, like for this project, we've listened to just so many songs, but we want to find those songs that really speak to your heart. Because, with the hopes that if you record it, it'll speak to other people. It'll, like it spoke to you.
Yeah. Wow, great. I can't wait. When you get the project done, let's get back and let's talk about it and play some music, and because this
Love
is
to
great.
do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Paul, Jamie, March, Kell, Texas, Tallant, got them all right, only because I looked at my notes.
Did.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Great.
Absolutely, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Don't forget to check out our affiliates, including Americana, fine hemp products since 2014. Click on their link on our website for more information and how to order their product line. If you're interested in getting your music into film or television, click on the Sync Songwriter link on our website. Absolutely the best way to get your songs listened to by top TV and film music supervisors. This is how you can get your songs quickly licensed for your favorite TV shows and movies. Click on our website link to get a free digital copy of Larry Butler's new rule book for singers and songwriters, 101 Ways to Help Improve Your Chances of Success. Also, check out our other affiliate, Music Starts Here. You can find them at musicstartshere.org. Probably the best one-stop shop for the singer, songwriter, or aspiring musician who's relocating to Nashville or wants to. Last but not least, shameless plug for this podcast. Become a YouTube subscriber by going to the Business Side of Music page. You can hear all of our released episodes there. Also, check out our website at businesssideofmusic.com. Follow us on Facebook at the Business Side of Music Podcast and on Twitter at Biz Side of Music.
The Business Side of Music is the creation of Tom Sabella and Tracy Snow and is produced by Bob Bender. The Business Side of Music is recorded at Music Dog Studios in Los Angeles, California and Nashville, Tennessee. Production sound designed by Keith Stark. Voiceover and promo by Lisa Fuson.
For everyone's security, please consider other passengers and keep your music down.